Hey guys, Cam here. I hope you're enjoying life after lockdown. Don't worry, I'm not driving anywhere. I'm just in the car for effect because the thing I am enjoying the most after lockdown is a road trip. There's nothing better than getting out on the open road with a few buddies and listening to some jams.
Hey, the best thing about getting out of lockdown is getting back into my epic co-working space, working with incredible people doing amazing world-changing ideas.
Hello there everybody, my name's Brodie Kane and I'm here to tell you that the best part of being out of lockdown is being able to connect with friends and family, like hug, maybe have a couple of gins, maybe a little boogie. I really miss that personal connection, so I've been loving catching up with people that I didn't see during lockdown. As you can see, I'm not actually with anyone at the moment. No, just kidding. But yeah, friends and family. Mwah!
Hey everybody. Hey guys, welcome to Quarantine with Kim Season 2. Very exciting. Today joining me live but distanced but together, I have the amazing Stacy Heyman. Hi Stacy.
Hi.
So we are going to do a lot of things today. We've got fan 5 questions that people have sent in for you. We're going to play a little game called A Few Seconds with Stace, which I don't know if you hate that name or not, but I was trying to make alliteration.
Yeah, I love the alliteration.
Okay, great. We're going to talk a little bit about the Lego movie and Westworld and Game of Thrones. And then we're going to do a cheers at the end of it. It's going to be pretty awesome. But I do want to encourage anyone who is watching, if at any time during this you're like, Kim, I'd like to get my hands on a month of Neon on Us, all you guys have to do is hashtag Neon, please, in the comments below. And we're going to slide into, you've got it, slide into a few DMs and gift some people some Neon. So Stacy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Great. How are you going?
I'm good. I've got a very weak chamomile. What are you rocking over there?
I have a water and then I also have a coffee because I just wasn't sure how thirsty I would be.
Okay. Are you, that looks like quite a professional coffee you've got there.
That
looks like a BP mug from...
It is! From like 10, 15 years ago. I still have them. Yeah. I'm a bit of a hoarder.
Is that a professional coffee or are you just quite the coffee connoisseur?
No, I'm not. I have an espresso, which I've had for like 5 years and I just couldn't live without it. It froths the milk, you push the button, there's no grinds to clean, and it's just easy peasy on your way.
That's awesome.
So
obviously New Zealand is like experiencing kind of life after lockdown now. Just to kind of throw it back to what lockdown was like for you. What was like a highlight and a low light?
I think a highlight for me was definitely being able to just have Adam locked in with me and just be like, you're not going anywhere. We're hanging out today. We're hanging out every day. And yeah, that was amazing. Like we get on like a house on fire. So it was fun having that quality time. I think a low would probably be that we'd purchased a house before lockdown and we were meant to move in during lockdown. But it was really just awkward with the vendor because they wanted us to settle within, you know, we had like that 48 hours before we went into level 4. Yeah. So they wanted us to like clear out of our house, move our tenant in, move out and move to the new house and settle all within 48 hours. And we were just very overwhelmed and we were stressed that we were going to get stuck with 2 mortgages because obviously, you know, financial hardship through lockdown and work being paused. But it ended up okay, so that was great. And then I guess another low would be that we'd planned this trip to go to Vanuwatu and we'd had it planned since we got off the block and we were so looking forward to a break because I think Adam and I are kind of workaholics. Like we've just worked and worked and worked the past few years and we were so looking forward to getting away, but obviously we couldn't go to Vanuatu. And then it turned out, I think it was fate we didn't go because the day we were meant to arrive, it was over Easter, and there was a Cyclone 5 hurricane in Vanuatu, and they were flying people out, and we sort of thought, kind of a good thing we didn't go.
Yeah, definitely a good thing you didn't get caught up in that. You kind of mentioned the feeling of being overwhelmed. That's definitely something I experience, not just exclusive to lockdown, just in life in general. What is kind of, because I know a lot of people will relate to this, what is your like get out of feeling overwhelmed tip? What do you do?
I think number 1 has to be write a list. Like I am just a serial list maker. I think I read this book, I think it was by Dr. Libby. I think Dr. Libby talked about it, and how your brain is kind of like a computer and you just have all these tabs open the more things you're thinking about. And so for me, I just have to get it out of my brain, write a list, and then I can sort of relax and I know that it's just waiting for me to do, and I'm not constantly working myself up into a little stress bubble, which I tend to do.
Me too. I do that as well. Do you feel better once it's on a list? Like, and do you, because I'm quite chronic at this, when I write my list, I also put in things that I've already done just across the
Same. Yes, I do that. Yes, 100%, because it's like in the mornings I'll write down wash laundry, walk Boki, and then I just cross them off straight away, and I'm like, damn, I'm so productive.
That's hilarious. It's well, yeah, that's at least makes me feel a little bit better. As a side note, your dog is one of the most beautiful dogs on this planet.
Thank you. She's so naughty, honestly. The past few days, she's just got a real hankering for toilet rolls. And this morning, about 10 minutes ago, I caught her out with another one, and she just sort of went into the bush, and I could just see her bum sticking out, kind of like Pumbaa. And she was just waiting for me to take it off her. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm sure, to be honest, she's outside, but I'm sure she'll come in and make an appearance.
Great. I'm all for it. We're all for that. Okay, so I have some Stacy fan fives. So these are kind of like, questions that we're going to play our own kind of quick fire game, but these are questions that people want to know about you or what you're doing. Okay, so the first one is a tip for working on a project with a partner. And I'm assuming that means like working together with a loved one.
Ooh, I mean, I would probably say communication is key, because there are so many times when Adam and I are working together, and he's very analytical and a bit more introverted, whereas I'm very, let's do this, and I sort of vocalize everything so that I'm always managing his expectations, and I'm like, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing that, and I'm a very detailed person. So for him, like if we're on a project, he'll just skip 4 steps ahead and just say something like, oh, we're going to be doing this today. And I'm kind of like, how did you get to that point? Can you just backtrack it? And so, I think communication, like you can never have too much detail. You can never talk too much.
Is that kind of, I'm just going to add my own questions onto the back of other people's questions, that managing expectations thing, is that, that's something I really struggle with, especially in I just assume that there's at least a base level of expectation. And that's been kind of, a cause of conflict in like friendships, relationships, where, it's an assumed level of expectation that obviously isn't actually assumed. So kind of, how have you dealt with that?
Well, I think, and this is what I think you mean in the question, but I might be wrong, so correct me if I am. I think I just ask questions. So like when we were on the show, the first week, I had no idea how to build a house. Like I didn't know it was framing and then insulation and jib and plastering. And Adam would sort of skip a few steps ahead and be like, right, we're going to be plastering and then painting. And I'm kind of asking, but babe, what about the walls? Like, how are the walls going up? Like, what do you mean? And then I get into this frantic bubble, and then he's sort of like, okay, I just need to like lay it all out for you.
So you guys must be pretty good at that. Was there, have you learned anything new about each other in lockdown?
During lockdown, I don't know if we learned that much about each other, because I feel like, we've been together 5 years and we sort of know all the ins and outs. But I learned that I'm actually quite good at PlayStation during lockdown.
That's awesome.
And Adam had the same reaction as you. It was so funny. I had quite a few questions as to like what we were doing during lockdown on social, and I'll tell people, PlayStation, like that's what we're doing, because I think after doing the show, Adam and I realized that we're actually quite competitive. Like I would have always considered myself, pretty chill, and like, I mean, I'm still type A, but not competitive, and now it turns out I am. And so he would tell me to always tell my followers, start with the Lego PlayStation, like to all the guys out there, that's how you get the girls hooked, like just start them on Lego.
That's awesome. Okay, that's a great, well, we're going to talk a little bit more about Lego but later. Back to your fan fives, because I derail this ship often. What would be the biggest redecorating faux pas?
Ooh, that's a great question. biggest decorating faux pas. God, there's so many. I feel like choosing a bad wallpaper can set you back, because it's hard to get off if you've chosen something that's horrific.
Fair.
And I think it can be quite overwhelming as well. Like, you can choose a wallpaper and you might be like, oh, that'll look really great on the wall, and then you see it this big and it's right in front of you, glaring in your face, and you're kind of like, oh, that's a lot.
It's like a magic eye.
Yeah.
What was your first post-lockdown in-person purchase? So not like not an online order.
Oh, groceries don't count, I'm guessing. Groceries?
I mean, you can kind of, these are very vague, but I think probably people want to be like, did you buy a shoe? Did you buy a coffee or a bagel? Or
First thing out of lockdown. That's actually a really hard question. I'm not like much of a shopper, but what would it be? Oh, actually, you know what it was? It would have been a new cushion cover, because for this house, we're going to be restaging it and restyling it. And I wanted to be able to match my paint swatches to a certain cushion cover, because I know I'll be going to the store potentially a lot to buy things for the house, because it's sort of in the same color scheme that I'm wanting.
Got it. Oh, so do you have it as a cushion so that you take that around instead of a square? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so what, like, because this house, we have initially thought that we'll probably sell it once we're done. Yeah. So I think the easiest way to style it will be to find what's actually out there and what I like that's out there, and then match the paint to that, because I find it's quite hard doing it the other way around. If you choose all these paint colors and then you can't find any furniture or any cushions that match, you kind of get stuck.
That's quite clever, because obviously you would think most people would do it the other. Well done. You should start a business in interior design, which you have done. We will get to that. Your favorite person to follow online is?
Oh, probably James Corden.
Oh, he's so funny.
I just love a laugh. Yeah.
He's so good. What would be your best, I guess, motivational tip for people who are feeling unmotivated? Because you obviously come across that you are like type A, zip zappy project, doing this, doing that. Do you ever get this, always walking around doing shoulders? What would be like your tip if you're ever feeling unmotivated?
I guess, do you mean like motivated for work?
I guess, yeah, or anything, or to work out or whatever, or are you just usually pretty electric?
No, like, honestly, I'm quite lazy at heart. Really? Like, if I could, I would just blob on the couch, cuddle Boki, and just binge a show, But I guess for me, I think I've always been quite driven in that I know where I want to be in 10 years. And I know that if I don't do everything in my power now to get there, it probably won't happen. And then I'm going to look back and be like, why didn't you push yourself? Like, why didn't you
get off the couch?
Yes, stop watching that show.
Where do you want to be in 10 years?
Oh, I mean, I want to have like 6 houses. I want to be living off that passive income from my renters, and I want to just be vacationing. But I mean, 10 years, that's probably like 30 years away, to be fair. I don't think it's 10.
We believe in you. I think you're great. So tell me a little bit about this business that you have joined up with another couple from the block. So yeah, explain that to me, because that sounds amazing.
So when we got off the show, I would get inundated with messages from people sorry, I've got a dog here on my face. It happens a lot. So I would just be inundated with messages from people asking for advice and asking what to do. And because I got a lot of the same questions, I just started putting them on my story and putting them in a highlight called advice, so people can see the answers, I guess. And then from there, people started approaching me for interior design and renovation. And so I quite happily do all the interior stuff myself, but when it comes to measurements, things like decks or building pergolas and that sort of thing, I always bring Adam on board, because he's just a bit more analytical with the numbers and, the measuring of everything. It's sort of his jam. And I'm like, make it look like this. And then he does the measuring side of it. And then recently, so as you know, when we left the show, we were really good friends with Lisa and Ribs, and we still are. And recently, Lisa started picking up some interior design jobs, and Ribs has decided that he's going to be not a builder, but like a handyman, like call a hubby.
Great.
So yeah, so we're going to bring him on board for some projects because, I mean, I know he's got a mean paint finish, so I kind of can put all my faith into him.
I had to laugh on your stories the other day when the boys were measuring things, like going like this,
my God.
kind of like that. And I'm like,
Honestly.
I do that. I'm like, oh, yep, that's about that. And I have that kind of confidence
Yeah,
that I
and you
feel
sort of
like
move
that
like,
distance
that's
won't
about
change as I go.
Yeah.
It's very, very funny.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got this quick fire game. A few seconds of space. So, I mean, really the only obstruction here is time. So answer as quickly as you can.
Oh, okay. You got to be quick. It's like really
Well,
be quick.
Not really. I mean, we we really have all day. But yes, the idea would be kind of like first answer that comes to mind. Okay. Your pet peeve.
Oh, it's this. Like that noise when people eat. Oh my God, I can't stand it. And recently we started giving Boki like Kongs, which is like, it's like a dog toy you fill with peanut butter. And I made the mistake the other day of giving her one to keep her nice and calm and quiet while I was doing an interview.
Sure.
And I just hear this in the background and I just kept looking at her and I knew there was nothing I could do. And it was like, what is it called? Water torture.
Oh yeah. Well, it's also like peanut butter it has to be the worst thing for your mouth as well. Like,
yes, so sticky. And yeah, she was going hard on that.
Hilarious. The last time you cried and why?
Okay, so last night, it would have been last night, and I was talking with Adam because him, Lisa, Ribs, and I are planning on getting a tattoo, and Adam and I would have matching, and then Ribs and Lisa would have matching, and they all sort of are cohesive. And then I was talking to Adam, and how did it go? I was saying, like, it's such a big thing to do, you know? And he was saying, yeah, it's more permanent than marriage. And I just looked at him, and I got so happy that I just teared up. And I was like, babe, you're so sweet. And I just had these like tears starting to form. And then he was like, why are you so emotional? And my happy tears turned into quite sad tears. And I was like, what do you mean I'm emotional? I'm just happy.
It's okay to cry. Oh, that's sweet. I
Yeah.
thought that you were going to say it's more permanent than marriage and then that sparks an argument, but that's a nice sentiment. That commitment is really nice. What are your kind of ideas? Do you have any like tattoo ideas?
Yeah, well, what we're thinking is, so the address of the show was 516 New North Road. So we're thinking that Adam and I, we were apartment 1, so potentially 516.1, and then Lisa and Ribs are apartment 2, so it'd be 516.2.
That's
Which is
nice.
quite scary because we don't have, the only thing I have tattooed is my eyebrows. So I'm like, this is a big commitment.
They look great, by the way. I feel like I'm too. My eyebrows are not they're sisters, not twins. One's always asking a question. So I feel like I would be nervous to get that tattooed. Like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Or if you accidentally get Botox and you end up just always questioning
hi,
everything.
eyebrows.
Yeah. Hi. Good morning.
She always looks very alarmed. Okay, what is the best food drink combo, like margarita and taco, or?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great one. Oh, damn. Yeah, love a margarita and Mexican. Otherwise, maybe like a burger and a milkshake. Like bit of sweet, bit of savory. You're definitely going to be full after.
I feel like when I was younger and you would get McDonald's, it was always with a milkshake. I don't think I've had a milkshake with a burger in a really long time.
I don't think I've ever had a McDonald's milkshake.
I feel like that's what we used to get when we were younger. I feel like that might be too much dairy now. I'm just like getting older and everything. You start getting tender tummy and all these other things.
Everything's heavy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what is the worst smell?
Okay, I've got a couple answers, but I think the worst smell has to be a portaloo after like a week of use from like 50 tradies. Like you can smell that a mile away.
So, okay, this might be wildly inappropriate, but I'm going to do it anyway. So there was, I don't know what I was listening to, a podcast or something about like hand jobs and blow jobs and whatever and all this stuff. And someone was saying like what their like most grotty place of doing something. And someone had said that they'd given someone a gobby in a portaloo. And in my mind, there is no, like, I hold my breath every time I go into a portaloo to pee. There is no way I'm opening my mouth, especially to do anything like that. And not shaming anyone who's done it. I just physically don't think that there would be anything less sexy than trying to be sexy in a portaloo.
I think that would really hit the old gag reflex, to be honest.
Right. And unless that's what you're trying to achieve. But I just was like, that is shocking.
Also, like, weird, like, the positioning, like, they're quite small.
Same with the airplane thing. I've never really understood how that works. I'm sure we'll get floods of comments of people being like, Kim, here you go, here's a YouTube tutorial. Or
I would genuinely like to know how they do it on airplanes, because I feel like I shut the door and I'm squished in there, you know? And hips go like wall to wall.
I also feel quite gross I fly a lot, and well, not currently, but I fly a lot, and I feel like I'm always not feeling super great. The last thing I feel like I want is to be intimate with someone. I understand, like, oh, it's the naughtiness about it, but I'm also such a teacher's pet that if anyone thought that I was like going to make out in a toilet, I'd feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same. And like when we were on the show, we only showered once a week, because we would go to, there was like one night a week when we'd go to Lisa's mum's house and have takeout and just chill when the judging was happening. And that shower was the best shower ever, every week, because you'd go 7 days, and I baby wiped. Yeah. Well, I mean, I baby wiped. Like, I have, you know.
You had your methods. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of tactics and methods to try to stay clean. But yeah, it was foul. Like,
it'd be great to take camping. You're like, I already know how to be ready to go.
Yeah. Good. I mean, I don't know if I'd be the best on a camp trip.
Okay. Well, you've done almost weeks without showering. That's half the battle.
I mean, yeah, but I think, you know, I don't know if I'd be that uplifting.
Okay. Sure. What is a talent that you wish you had?
Oh, I think I wish I could sing like Beyonce. Like, how good would it be to just show stop everyone, get up and be like, I'm the best. Like, I don't care what you say, because I know I'm the best at singing. And you just like whip that out.
Or even just casually start humming and people will go, oh, shit, that sounds like an angel, Kim. That would be awesome.
Or just like when you're in the car and you're just singing along and everyone's like, turn the radio off, like, you sing.
I feel like I'm most insecure about my singing during any version of Happy Birthday. You know, when there's only a few people and I'm like, oh, man, I'm sorry. Like, I'm
singing, and you like want to join in and you want to like be really loud with everyone, but you're like, don't want everyone to hear me, but want to be supportive at the same time.
Yeah, it's funny how like it's like when I get really insecure is like during a happy, I kind of go really loud to be like, play against it.
But then you don't try too hard because you don't want people to think that you think you can sing at the same time.
Yeah, no, it's like just lead into it. The most yuck food is
anchovies. It's got to be anchovies, surely. My dad has a habit of like, you what? You've never had one?
No, they ruin a Caesar, like a Caesar salad if like there's, you know.
Yeah, and my dad has this habit, like, I don't know why, but he'd always be like, oh, you'll never taste them. Like when he puts them on pizza, he's like, you'll never know. As soon as you eat an anchovy, you know. Like, you can't miss that salty, fishy flavor, really.
Also, don't they come in a can? I don't feel like any fish should come in a can. I'm not a fan of tuna either. So.
I know what you mean. I kind of go on and off tuna. It's like eggs. Like sometimes I'm weird with eggs, and then sometimes I'm just like, it's an egg. It's fine.
Got it. Fair. If I came to your house, what would you cook me? Like for a hot date, kind of like, ooh, Kim's coming to dinner.
Oh, for a hot date?
Yes.
I mean, they'd have to be.
I could have just called a social gathering, but I've made it now. It's a hot date. What would you cook me?
Do you have any intolerances? It's got to be the first question you got to ask.
No, but that's so generous of you to ask that. No, I'm good.
Well, imagine if you're a vegetarian and I cooked you a leg of lamb. That's not going to go well. It's not going to be a great hot day.
On that, I actually am vegetarian unless someone else is cooking for me. So I like if I'm doing my own thing, but if I'm out to dinner or like doing something fancy, that's kind of my like allowance. Yeah. We do kind of that, but kind of not. Like we try to be less meat-y, but then like if we go out, all cards are off the table. Is that what I'm saying? All cards are off the table. Yeah.
On Table? Off the table.
I'm not sure. Where do the cards go? Someone will tell us. Someone in the comments will be like, take them off the table.
No one will know.
I'm not sure.
I'd probably go with Mexican, to be honest. I feel like it's hard to not do it. Like, it's easy to do. It's easy to make. So probably, what would it be? Probably maybe like a help yourself nachos situation where you just get everything out and you just put it in all your own bowls and then you cook whatever the main thing is and then off you go, serve yourself.
That's perfect. I love that a lot. Okay, so I want to move on to some shows with you. So tell me, so I know you're a big fan of the Lego Movie. Which one in particular? Because isn't there quite a few of them?
There are, I think there's only 3. There's Ninjago, and then there's
Ninjago.
1 and 2, I think.
Okay. And you're just a fan of them in general?
No, I'm not a big fan of the Ninjago one. Lloyd is the main character's name, or Lloyd.
Yes.
I think 1 and 2 have to be my favorite because Adam's converted me and he has just made me love Lego. So our house, as I look around, I can see at least like 5 different sets of Lego that we have. But I love an animated movie. Like, I've always been a Disney girl. My parents are from the States, so it's always been Disney. And I love animated, and I love the storyline of Lego, of how it's actually like the son and the dad, and how he doesn't think he's special, but he's the special. Oh, it's just cute. And I love the songs. You can't beat a good Lego song.
So who would you recommend it to? Would you be like, it's for everyone, or like have a fun couples night? Yeah, what kind of recommendation would you give for Lego?
I reckon everyone. I don't think you can beat a feel-good movie. I think, it's probably targeted more towards Lego fans or kids, but there are so many adult jokes. Like, I think the animated movies are great at just weaving those adult jokes in, and then, the kids don't get it, but we don't have kids, so that's fine.
That's fine. Tell me a bit about Shameless, because I haven't seen Shameless. So, why did you love it, and why do you kind of like watch or binge it? What about it?
That's actually one that Ribs and Lisa recommended to us, and it's probably one of the shows that we've actually watched. I think we watched I think there's 7 seasons. We watched all 7 seasons, and then we got to the last episode and Adam didn't want to finish it, which just like kind of was annoying. But he does this. He doesn't ever want to finish the last episode. We did it with a few other shows as well. And I think I just like it because it's so real. And I think it's quite hard to find shows that are that outrageously real.
Yeah, I like, have you watched Succession? Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't.
So it's kind of obviously a very different show, but tonally kind of that same thing, like really raw chaos, but it also doesn't feel like crazily overproduced that you're like, I'm watching a television show, like that kind of feeling, right? Yeah. You like really believe that these people exist and that's their family dynamic. It's pretty cool. Okay, so you're writing it down? Oh, you're so sick. Yeah. Do you have a paper diary as well, or do you do like more of you do an iCal situation?
No, I can't. I have a little diary.
I knew that we're destined to be very good friends. This is making me very, very happy. Okay, so we're at the end of our show, which is 30 minutes, went so fast. So I like to end the show where you get to do a cheers to someone in your life, and we, the collective, you and I, but also everyone else, like when they're watching this, can do a little toast to that person too. So who would you like to do your cheers to?
I promised her that I would, so I have to, but I'm going to cheers to Lisa, just because it was funny, we were talking about it, and I'm just so proud of her. Like, she's in her own little Cinderella story. You know, she was cleaning houses all day, every day before the show, and then they won, and then she's followed her dreams, and now they own the Rib Shack, and she's doing interior design, and she's just like a great person through and through. So
that's so awesome. Well, to Lisa.
Oh, I'm holding my cup weird.
Oh, cheers. There we go. We'll drink to that. You got it. Okay, we'll do it properly. There. Yep. Cheers, Lisa. That's so awesome. Stacey, stay there for 1 second. Guys, if you would like a month of Neon on us, all you have to do is hashtag Neon, please, in the comments below. Also, keep an eye on our socials. We will be letting you know who our next guest is, so you can send in some questions for our Fan 5. Stacey, thank you so much. It's been a real joy. You're such a dream to follow on the internet as well, especially all of your dog content, because I just want to kind of squeeze your dog because it just feels like she's so fluffy and delicious. But you're also extremely inspiring and really proud of you. And there are not very many people who have been able to take something like their presence on a show and then like continue a dialogue and develop it into something else. So proud of both of you. And thank you so much for spending time with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been such a treat.
Well, have a good day. Bye, guys.